Hey guys, this is Jon
and Austin,
and this is another episode of the Meatgistics Podcast. We are coming very close to our 100th episode. I believe this is 99, Patrick?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So this is 99. We've got a guest next week, so we're going to have to do some fancy footwork.
Maybe
we'll call that 99.5 or something.
Maybe we come
the
up with
buzz.
2 or something. I don't know.
What do you mean 2?
I don't know. Do we have time to record 2 next week?
Oh,
do we do a
right,
special 100th?
Yep.
And then
yeah, we'll do something like that to make sure that we actually do the 100th. Now, before we get to anything else we want to talk about, I've got some fried chicken for us.
It looks amazing. So if you're not watching us on YouTube, I'm sorry you can't see this, but it is beautiful chicken.
I assume anybody who listens to this podcast also follows our social media stuff, and Justin's doing a whole, we made this for that. So follow our social media. You'll be able to see it. The secret with this. So this is Chicken on the Run Flavor Crisp, who makes an absolutely amazing product. I've had it recently without the marinade first, and boy, that marinade really adds something. Are you ready now?
I just put my phone on mute
to go. It really does add something, and I think it's the MSG.
Oh, quite possibly.
Yeah. I don't think there's MSG in that.
Nope, there's not.
No, I'm talking about the little white packet of like, we think Excalibur packages are boring. This is just like white bag that it looks like maybe screws would normally come in or something, but instead is an amazing marinade. So we mixed up some of the marinade. We let them sit in a vac bag in the fridge for 4 or 5 hours. Took them out. We used the Better Batter Breader Bowl. Bang. It's a hard one. It's a hard one. We used that. That thing works awesome. Then we took our Camp Chef Woodwind on the back, used the side burner, turned that all the way on, took the Camp Chef square Dutch oven, filled that up with oil so we could do it all outside so it didn't make everything smell like oil. And here we are. We are ready to eat.
I'm excited.
For sauces, we've got the Terrapin Ridge Farm Smoky Maple Bacon Mustard.
And the Nashville Hot Spice Mustard.
Now, I'm not going to lie. I've already eaten 3.
Are you serious?
Yes. So this should be the 4th for me, which I'm going to do and happily do.
For the sake of science?
For the sake of science. But I'm going to eat one of the smaller ones.
Okay, so are these all...
Chicken thighs.
They're all... Okay.
Everything's a thigh.
Okay, I just making sure I shouldn't like pick something in particular.
Oh, that's so juicy.
Boneless too, right?
See, that's the advantage of the thighs, is they have so much fat in them that they just stay so much more juicy, so much juicier. I think that's the right way to say that. All right, smoky maple bacon mustard first.
Devouring it. A couple of hungry hyenas over there.
Which is delicious.
It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Which one did you try? You tried the smoky maple bacon mustard?
Yep.
If you like a smoky barbecue sauce or anything, that stuff is unbelievable. Well, not unbelievable. It's very smoky. How is it with the Nashville Hot?
It doesn't. I haven't tried it. No. It doesn't say honey mustard, but it seems similar to a honey mustard.
Does it say sweet anywhere? No, it's smoky maple. Maybe that's where the sweetness comes from. Yeah. Okay, trying the Nashville Hot.
But like full coverage though on the breading on that chicken though. There's not a single bare spot on it.
Nope. That is the Better Batter. Darn it. Better Breader Batter Bowl in action right there. It gets perfect coverage. What you do is you shake it and you flip it over so all of your seasoning comes down in contact, and you shake it side to side a bunch. Flip it back over, shake it side to side a bunch, and all of it, like some of it falls off. Take it off.
That's such a hard thing to film too, by the way, because by the time you're done with the first shake, it looks every
bit. You
can't
see anything in there.
Well, you can't see anything in there, and then it looks like, I mean, not a complete mess, obviously, but it's doing its job beautifully. But to make it look appealing via video, it's a tough task.
So I took advantage of when Patrick was talking there to take another bite. So thank you. The Nashville mustard or Nashville, what is it? Is it a mustard? No.
Yeah, Nashville Hot Spice Mustard.
That's got some heat to it. That's definitely got some heat to it.
It's got a nice, good kick to it. It's the mustard is strong in it. All around, it's just a lot of flavor. It's not like it's overly or insanely spicy. It's just got a lot of flavor behind it.
Do you think Nashville Hot is overused, the term specifically?
Yes.
Because what differentiates it from just a hot? You know, it's got to have a certain like sweetness to it, or what do you differentiate? Like, what's it need to be Nashville Hot?
To me,
it actually requires.
It's got like a buffalo sauce flavor kind of to it.
A little vinegary.
Yeah.
No, I would have said like more of a sweet heat.
Sweet, yeah. Kind of.
That's what I think of Nashville Hot. But I mean, I easily could.
That's
be
what
wrong
I'm saying.
on that.
Like, I think if we were to actually go to Nashville, have a sandwich with whatever they put on it, we'd go, oh, that's way different than what people are labeling as Nashville Hot.
Oddly enough, I think if you're going to talk about like a buffalo heat sauce, I think that would be buffalo sauce. I know that's a hot take, but
maybe he's saying the aroma, because there is a touch of vinegar, but yeah, I think the sweetness. I mean, it almost has a greasy color and appeal to it, but yeah, that subtle syrup nature to it, I think a little bit.
Yeah, all I really wanted to get out in that entire thing was that little dig at Austin. I'm
Thanks.
100% uninvested in what is Nashville Hot.
You know, I prefer that. If that was buffalo sauce has taken over wings for years. If Nashville Hot just had a sauce and that was the default buffalo sauce, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
I've had wings and rings, or is it wings and things?
I think you had
wings and rings.
Wings and rings. I've had that twice in the last like 2 months with their buffalo hot sauce. Their sauce, just like the sauce itself, is so good that I saved the leftover and then put it on my eggs for like 3 days after that.
It's good stuff.
I love their sauce. It's so good. So there's a little plug for.
We'll have to have like our favorite sauces and pit them up against each other. Or something.
That's not a bad one.
That'd be a cool one.
If we went like, we'd have to go outside what we sell, because that would obviously be.
Yeah, we'd be biased a little bit.
Yeah. Although I do want to point out this one thing. Tex has been after me to do a cooking competition with steaks with him for however long. He wants me to use something different than Ultimate Steak and Roast Rub. And the reason he wants me to do that is because he knows if I use it, I will win. So proving Ultimate Steak and Roast is the best steak rub.
Just don't use Ultimate Steak and Roast Rub. Use like, if we still have it, Majestic Steak Seasoning.
I don't think we have it. I don't think we've had that for like
Do we not have
5
it anymore?
years.
Dang.
Must be the same thing, right?
It's
very
not
close,
the same thing,
yeah.
but it's so close that most people won't know the difference.
I could use the Montreal patty mix.
I think you could probably
It's got to be probably.
you could just
pretty
replicate it, right? With like the whole mustard seed and stuff like that. Get all the man, do your best.
close. Yeah, I don't think I could.
Oh yeah, that's a great point.
Just
Somebody
have
would.
Excalibur whip up a sample, or just send you a bottle of something that says
mislabel.
have it be Ultimate Steak and Roast Rub, just in a different bottle. Yeah.
Beating Tex sauce or rub. That would work.
If you could get it shipped in under like the same type of name that you had for our Mojo Citrus stuff, it came in as John Super Special.
I did not put it in as that.
That's so
But that's
funny.
still a
Mystery, right?
mystery how that got on there. And most likely it was me saying it or emailing it as a joke, and somebody was like, all right, well, I guess that's it.
What would Tex's method be to do a steak differently than yours? Would you guys both reverse sear?
I'm
Same
fairly sure
equipment?
he
Yeah.
reversed yours. So yeah,
So it'd come down to
it would come
flavor,
down to
yeah.
seasoning and steak selection.
Like
he posted a picture of his steak, and I was like, that's the perfect cook. Like that's exactly what at least I want all of mine to look like exactly like that. So we clearly have the same like goal in mind.
Yeah.
It's just going to be who can get there the best on that day, and then whatever we decide with seasoning. Do we want to talk at all about the other idea for Bratfest? I have it on here, but we either go into it now or we push it to a later date.
I mean, we could talk about it, maybe.
Nah,
I don't know that anything.
We'll save it for the 100th
Okay.
when we've actually had time to.
That would actually be good. Because if we do it, talk about it then. That
It's a
would
good time
actually
to do
work
it.
out well. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So a couple other things. The troubleshooting document is alive. So I have it on waltons.com. If you go to the more section, there's a troubleshooting document. It's a link to the Meatgistics one. If you go to Meatgistics, at the very, very top, there is a little question mark icon that initially said trouble underneath it, and now says troubleshooting. When I initially was doing it, anytime I put more than 6 letters, it kicked this to the side, like the question mark to the side, and tried to put the words next to it. So I don't know what we did to make that not happen anymore, but that was helpful.
I got to pull this up.
I do need to move troubleshooting though, because it's so wide. It needs to be at the end next to the conversion chart.
Do you have troubleshooting?
No, I'm an excellent shot.
Well, troubleshooting is one word.
Oh, is it really?
But if you have trouble shooting, then it's 2 words.
Delete this. Erase this.
I think we should leave this in.
Never play this again.
I love it.
Yeah, no, I got to fix that.
To be honest, I think
right now,
whether we change it or not, open for discussion. But I think it should change. Troubleshooting's too long, anyways, for a word that's up there. It should be just like FAQ.
But it's not an FAQ. It's a troubleshooting document. Yeah. It's not frequently asked questions.
Yeah, but it needs to be something short up in there. Because right now it just looks kind of awkward.
Because it needs to be at the end.
Just put a question mark.
Oh, you want it to be at the end?
Yes, but I can't make it move.
Oh, well.
That's in custom.
So it's in custom. So everybody else may not care. But yeah, if you add it through the main menu, it won't work. You got to do it through custom.
They knew we were going to talk about this because I said yesterday at some point, I said I found where it is, but I needed your help to actually do it. So that's annoying. But I'm going to change this to troubleshooting, one word.
Where's the troubleshooting document to help you with your troubleshooting document?
Right. We need a secondary or preparatory? No. Preparatory. Just us saying that weirdly is going to be the title of this episode. All right. So it's now troubleshooting, one document, one word. I should have looked at Pat's header. So there's a header for it. And I asked our graphics manager to make it for us. And Patrick saw and goes, where do you think he found that image? Because we're like, we would have had to have taken that image of ourselves because wouldn't have been able to find it and add the smoke.
Kind of looks like Travis.
Mm-hmm.
Does it not?
From the back, yeah, sure, kind of. So he's talking about Travis Frank from the Ron Scherer that does the flush, all of that stuff. And it does kind of look like him in the back. But we've got, I don't know how many, 30-ish, 20, 30-ish different descriptions of issues, then the type of product that issue is going to occur on, the casing type, where casings are applicable, what the causes of that problem was, and what can be done to either fix or prevent it in the future. Most of these are just what you can do to prevent it in the future, because most of this stuff, once you've done it, it's too late. There's no going back. Forward only. So this is now on Meatgistics, on Waltons.com. It's actually in 2 places on Meatgistics. I didn't know where I was going to post it initially, and I really want it here. Oh, I thought your ring was some of that. Gotcha.
Oh, no.
I didn't know where it was going to go, but I wanted people to see it, so I just made a general post about it, and now it's got a bunch of valuable comments, so I'm leaving it. So it'll live in 2 places. But yeah, pretty awesome. All right. Next is we are going to revive, I guess, the Willet barbecue. So we're
going to have like a seance and like
bring it back from the dead to life. I've got a voodoo practitioner coming in. We're going to watch Serpent in the Rainbow, and then we will. I knew Patrick would get that. That's a deep cut there.
That's an intense, yeah. You can't even find that.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm out there looking at stuff. I mean, not specifically looking for it, but I haven't came across it. It's not on.
It wasn't that many years ago that it was being played on USA Network. So. But here are some of you were not involved in the creation of this list, so I'm excited to get to tell you what the next few up are.
I was not involved in it? One of them is my idea.
Sourdough?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we took that from a post you made.
Yeah. Well, isn't that what this all originated from? It's from the post on Meatgistics?
No, it originated from me saying like 10 times during live streams and podcasts that people really want us to start doing this again.
Well, no, I thought you meant like I didn't have a part in like the topics.
You didn't.
Sourdough's on the list.
We went through and
there's a new list.
Some of the comments. Okay. So here are the ones that we're planning on doing. And I've already ordered some of these from this place called Exotic Meats.
Oh, no.
And I'm in contact with them for a discount on shipping at least. And we'll just when we do things, we'll put a link to their article or to their website on Meatgistics. All right. So we've got rattlesnake, yak tongue, alpaca brain.
Not eating brain.
You're eating brain.
Nope.
You're eating brain.
Does this look like Fear Factor? Or is this called Will It Barbecue?
If I barbecue it, you have to help answer, will it barbecue? So the brain, we could have chosen from a few different species. I chose alpaca to try to hurt Allie's feelings as much as possible. So I'm going to name the alpaca then we're going to barbecue it and then we'll eat the brain.
Allie the alpaca.
Allie
alpaca.
Double A.
Allie's got a thing for alpacas anyways.
Llamas, technically.
Oh, is it llamas?
Yeah, it's llamas.
Darn it.
As close as we can get.
Right.
That's as close as we can get.
So, and it's not just Allie. So if you...
Oh no! Who else likes them?
If you have something against llamas, you're going to have an issue. On my phone, the group right there. See, llama lovers.
Yeah, whose is that?
That's me, Allie, and my wife.
Oh God!
Because I don't know how Allie got drug into this, but
Allie's the one that got chugged into it.
She loves llamas. My wife, she grew up having a llama,
right?
So there's still a llama down on the family farm. But yeah, I don't know.
I assumed Allie and you are from that terrible Disney movie, The Emperor's New Groove.
That's a great.
Yeah. Okay, that is what it's
a great Disney movie.
Yeah,
one of the best.
Yeah.
So, all right, alpaca brain. Then we're thinking a bug episode. So it'd be like crickets, which are no problem for me. Fried tarantulas, which might be a little interesting.
They're dead.
We're gonna get Austin out of this.
I got it. I got one for you.
Go ahead.
I've started having like literally tarantulas. I don't know what they are. I should try to actually figure out what it is. But I've seen a few outside, and I let them go because I'm like, yeah, they freak me out. But those are eating some serious other bugs. Had one inside the other day. This thing is like this big around, and it's like thick. It's fuzzy.
Oh,
it looks like a stinking tarantula.
Unless it's a wolf spider, it's
not a wolf spider. Do we have tarantulas here?
They've been coming up north further and further.
I'll have to look and see. I've still got one of them on a sticky trap in my basement.
Oh, sweet!
And you didn't take a picture of it?
That's its legs, probably.
No, not yet.
Right? It probably don't look as big, dead compared to alive, right?
Probably not. Yeah. I don't. It's probably a little like shriveled up at this point. Like when they're actually like flexing their legs out and walking along, they look. Ugh.
Could be a Texas brown.
A Texas brown.
Could that be it?
I don't know.
Images.
I'll have to take a picture of it.
It's not the X. That's the red need. Well, that's not even a.
That's a garden spider.
Yeah. Well, I love those spiders. They're so cool.
Those are awesome.
The yellow and black one.
So it's the Kansas Outback traveling tarantulas. That's what that looks like. That maybe? No, that's a small spider. I've seen those.
I mean, it's fairly black like that one. There, I don't think there's a lot of color to it, but it's just.
Well, good. We can eat one now. You can conquer
save
your fear. Yeah,
we're gonna eat it. You'll feel better in the end. You don't get over fears by making someone more comfortable with the fear. You get over them by making that person braver, and you eating one of these spiders that you caught by yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat the dark later. So get ready for it, dude.
I don't know
if I'm bringing stuff in from home that's been dead for a few weeks and we're gonna eat it. I'll bring in a snake too. I caught a snake in my basement.
How big?
Just like a
small,
like
little,
I don't know, 8-inch little garter snake.
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought up snakes though, because next on the list, I think we got one.
Well, rattlesnake is what started the whole list off. So, all right. So then chicken hearts, which is probably the most normal one we've talked about so far. Then sourdough, that's yours. Twinkies, I want to do that one.
That has to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So ice, we're going to smoke water and then freeze it. Beaver Tail, that is because of the Beaver Tail meatballs I had when I was up in Montana.
Oh yeah, I would assume the beaver would be good.
I imagine we get 3 beaver tails for a really reasonable price. I hope we get like
you have legitimately already bought a bunch of this.
Oh yeah.
I thought you were kind of joking.
No,
you're dead serious.
Dead serious. It's on its way. Not a ton of it, but some of it. Camel, because that's probably the closest we can get to eating horse.
Shoulder, hump. What are we eating?
Oh, it didn't say that. Well, the hump is all fat.
Yeah, I'm just joking.
When you got snake, did we get the whole snake?
No.
Oh man, what part did we get of the snake?
We just get some of the meat.
It's knee. What's the joke in water? It's a joke in water, boy. Snake ain't got no parts. But I think you're having it's a knee.
Iguana, squirrel, turtle.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of a lot of people eating turtle.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've never had turtle.
Another random story. I don't know if I have the picture. I can't show you, but correct me if I'm wrong. Turtles normally live like near water.
For the most part, yeah.
Okay.
No.
Tortoises don't.
They live in their shells, dude.
There was a massive turtle in our yard the other day.
Okay.
Like we're like, I don't know, a third of a mile away from a pond.
Yeah, that's not that
Is that close?
Oh, enough? Yeah, they'll go from pond to pond for sure.
It's just huge. Normally I see like in Kansas, just a little standard turtle. Biggest thing would be maybe like, I don't know, 8-10 inches around.
God, I see turtles.
This thing
way
was
bigger
like
than that.
I don't know, 18 inches.
Like really that big?
Yeah.
Did you see it up close?
I didn't see. I just saw a picture up close. My wife and son. My son got out and touched it.
Oh.
And afterwards, I told my wife, I'm like,
never.
Why?
That's how you
lose a finger.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially if that was one of those alligator turtles. Those things will take our fingers off.
But those things, they look like they got a lot of meat on them. Maybe there's not much underneath the shell.
I bet you there is.
They look like they're substantial.
Did I ever tell you about the time I caught turtle fishing?
No.
I was using a rattle trap. So it's got 2 treble hooks that hang from the bottom. And one of them got underneath the turtle's shell and was pulling it back. And I'm like, what? I thought at first I was hooked on something, and then I was getting some movement, and then finally I got some pullback. I'm like, oh my God, what do I have? But it was one of those, I don't know if you've ever seen them. They're like really wide, but they're kind of almost flat. You ever seen that type of turtle?
Mm-hmm.
And they have the weird flat head too. I don't know what that turtle is called, but it's weird looking. I hope that's not the type of turtle we get. I just want like a regular box turtle, like somebody's pet. So I did veto guinea pig. Guinea pig was on this
not
list.
eating a rodent.
Yeah. Guinea pig. Oh
no!
It's funny you bring that up. Did nutria not make the final list?
We can add it.
No. You forget that I still have ultimate veto power here.
I think it's just funny to see like what some people will like. You're like turtle. I'm like, I kind of drew the line at turtle. I was like, ew, that one sounded gross, but I was like, I'll eat a rat. I don't care. So it's funny to see
different people.
That each person has.
Just what everybody thinks.
Like their Snapchat, you're like, ooh, that might be, or absolutely not.
Definitely not.
Wasn't zebra on the list?
Zebra's about to come up. So zebra.
Like if we ate like rodents, we could bring back like the Black Plague.
No, I don't think that's accurate at all.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
If you want to say anything, I guess technically we might be able to get a prion disease from eating the alpaca brain, but we're still going to do that. You're done having kids, right? I'm not having kids.
I don't know about this.
It doesn't really matter. But zebra has 1/10 of the fat of beef, so it's lower fat than like chicken breast, anything. So pretty interesting.
Yeah, super lean.
And then a couple fish-y ones: eel, lionfish, and shark. Shark, obviously. Lionfish because they're massively invasive. And if we can show people how to actually eat them, that they can be good, that actually might do some good.
Where do you get a lionfish? Is this an ocean animal or is it a freshwater?
Yep. Ocean animal.
Okay.
So I went down in Jamaica before COVID. That's all I know. And they were saying like, you know, in the last 5 years, these 5 or 10 years or something, he's like, these lionfish never used to be here. And they were everywhere. And they're a nuisance. They were trying to train bull sharks to eat them for a while, but I don't know what happened with that. Did you see the Russians using the dolphins? Special, no? Patrick?
What's that?
The Russian military using the dolphins?
Oh, I haven't. That sounds fascinating.
Yeah, they were putting like cameras on them and having them swim around boats and like strategic underwater targets.
I feel like it'd be better just to build an underwater drone.
Probably.
That looked like a dolphin.
Would make more sense.
Want sharks with freaking laser
Well,
beams.
then it was a couple of days later that volcano erupted and exposed
the sharks. That was
the silky and the hammerhead sharks that had been living in a volcano. How familiar are you guys with? You're not going to be familiar at all with this. So that movie that came out, The Meg.
Okay.
That's based on a series of books that are like my 100% like guilty pleasure.
Sure.
They're not well written. They're not good literature by any stretch of the imagination, but I've read all of them because it's about enormous sharks. And they lived in one of the books, they lived in under like the ocean floor. There was another sea down there. It was like a cavern that was ridiculously huge, and they lived down there. So maybe there's some...
They're just creeping out. Oh,
maybe Steve Alton, I think, is who wrote those books. Maybe he knew something we didn't. It's possible.
Oh, yeah. There's so much stuff going on under there. So,
but we're going to go ahead and right now, the eel, the lionfish, the shark, and beaver and something else are on order. We're having a problem with the lionfish, so they may swap that out with something else, but everything else, the rattlesnake, is the other one that was on there. So that should all be here somewhat soon. So hopefully we'll film a couple and revive.
That with like sourdough Twinkies, ice.
Do what?
Sourdough Twinkies, ice. I mean, those are ones we can just do.
Yeah.
And then like the insects, we can probably just go catch some insects.
I don't know if you can.
We just get a net and go out into the grass and go catch some grasshoppers, crickets, whatever.
Do you remember? You're joking.
I'm dead serious.
Oh, okay. Do you remember 6 months ago or something? Like on the East Coast, there was that big cicada, like the cicadas, 7-year cicada came out.
Oh, yeah.
And places were actually serving them. Some people tried to like catch their own, and one of them was like infested with something. Some guy ate it and got some like neurological disease. Oh, man. So I would say it's best if we probably get them from a source.
That's why I don't want to eat the alpaca brain.
No, we're not.
When I say prion disease, I think it has to be your own species. I don't think you can get a prion disease from cross species. Well, you can. I say that with no knowledge, so I could be totally wrong there.
You can. My understanding is you can get other things from other brain materials. Brain is not a safe thing to eat necessarily. Like,
I think it probably depends on how you cook it.
Well, hold on.
We'll cook it up to 165.
Well, I've never heard that, so that just cancels that out, right?
Right. So we're eating brain.
I don't know. We're gonna cook it to like 265.
Will it burn?
Will it burn? Yeah, will it burn?
We're gonna make it into
zombie edition.
Pulled brain.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try biting you on a few live streams after that, just to freak you out. All right. So we've talked about all of that. You want to go on to Meat Matters? You got anything?
Let's jump right in.
Okay. First story is millennials, for once, are doing something right and good. Are you a millennial?
Yes.
Yeah, you are.
Mm-hmm. I'm like right in the middle.
I'm Gen Z or Gen X. I'm right before millennial starts at 80. I'm 79.
Oh, okay. You're close enough, though. You're kind of a millennial.
I have no idea what. Like, I don't fit into any of those. I have a little bit of everything.
I'm a bad millennial. I do a bunch of stuff that you guys are into. So it's like,
yeah, he's not a good millennial.
I think the whole thing's kind of stupid anyways, because it's a what is the average person in that age group like? Because I am not a typical millennial either.
Yep. But
yeah, so what are we doing? What
there is definitely some truth to it, because anyone I grew up with would be horrified to have somebody think about them as like having a bad work ethic. Actually, that's not true.
Oh, is that what you said? What did you read the headline? You just said
no. Millennials are kind of classically like they don't want to work a lot.
Well, what's the story about it? I don't think you actually.
Am I millennial? Huh. Anyways, sorry. So it's good news. Millennials still love to eat meat. Now,
right on.
This article has a study in it from Kansas State University economists. Says meat demand outdoes meat avoidance. So 3/4 of the U.S. public is still what I'd call a regular meat consumer. That's where our domestic robust meat demand is coming from. The remaining 1/4 is either flexitarian or vegan or vegetarian. I hate that term flexitarian. That is very, very annoying. Just say you're a regular person who eats whatever they want.
Yeah. What?
Yep.
What the heck?
Absolutely. We have to label everybody something, or you're denying their existence.
Is that a millennial thing?
I'm sure
we have to have labels for everything.
I thought we didn't want labels. I thought that was the point.
No, we're past that. Now we want labels again.
Oh my God. It's back around again.
It's like the horseshoe. You come so far, the other side you touch.
Oh man.
But it says, if you were to read headlines, they talk about millennials as the group that's most open to alternative proteins and other things. And that's probably true. But they're also the group that eats meat at the highest rate of any category or generation.
Nice.
This was my favorite article or quote from this article. If you tell somebody to not eat hamburgers, they're going to eat a double quarter pounder just to stick it to you. Yep. I don't know that anyone has ever encapsulated my attitude so well in a single sentence.
Yep.
Like, oh, you don't want me to do this? Here's where I'm going to do all of it.
To be honest, like I eat more meat now than I did 5 years ago.
Okay.
Like it's just like for me, the more I hear about meat in general, the more it's on my mind and I eat more of it.
Listen, I think it's fairly well known that I eat more meat than the average person, but I would agree with that. I think at least part of it is I don't want to be associated with this like move away from meat movement. So I'm going on the opposite side of things. Maybe I am disagreeable.
Oh yeah. But I got it's also, I mean, just the people's diets, just more meat in general. Because when keto hit it big, you're just like, oh, I don't need anything else. You're like, well, the main part of
that's not keto, that's paleo.
You know what I mean? But
right.
To a layman's, it's all kind of, cut out bread and everything else besides meat. So I think that could help maybe be a push, especially people around that age group. Just like, just cut out all the other stuff.
And then you've got psychopaths like Jordan Peterson and his daughter. And when I say psychopaths, I just mean their eating habits, who eat nothing but beef.
No.
Does she eat other things now?
I believe it's lamb.
What?
Yeah,
no,
I think. Not. Yeah, I think she just eats lamb.
You're talking about because the lion.
No. Jordan Peterson's daughter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She switched to lamb?
Uh-huh. Pretty sure.
We shouldn't care.
What's her name? Michaela. No, I do.
They get...
I definitely do.
I've read a lot of stuff on that because some of what he talks about is like dealing with like
beef 3 times a day.
Oh,
Michaela Peterson, lamb.
When is that from?
Yeah, when is that article dated? So I thought 2019.
I don't trust your sources.
Yeah, what's the website? Is it a .org?
Don't eat that. Drastic change in her physical diet and her journey. Okay, this is from September 2001. I'm not going to read the whole article but I'm going to look for lamb. Okay, what does Michaela Peterson eat? She starts the day with beef, salt, and water. Nowadays, her version of the carnivore diet includes high-fat beef, lamb, elk, and other ruminants. Okay, so she's moved on from that. But it is an all-meat diet. But so you were saying you were listening because it's an elimination diet? Is that what interested you in it?
Oh, no, because how food affects like your body and your brain, specifically with like anxiety and things like that. And because I don't eat breakfast. And if I do, it's usually carb heavy. Whereas like when you're trying to fix those things, it's not like I don't think it goes back to like when the people say, oh, breakfast is the most important meal of the day and you need a lot. And it's not, it doesn't have to do with that explanation. It comes back to you should eat a high protein breakfast, but not for the same reasons that like I've always heard like breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Right.
But, thought about doing that. It's just, I don't know, hard to get my body to actually like want to do that, but like sure. eat a steak for breakfast.
Yep.
Do something like that and supposedly really help your body, help your mind.
So I was in a weird eating phase, I guess, a couple of weeks ago. And one night I was cooking my steak and I'm like, I don't want to eat this. Like I'm hungry, but I'm not hungry for this. Then as soon as I started eating it, I was like, oh no, this is exactly what my body wanted. It was just weird. It was like my brain trying to be like, no, eat some sugar, eat some whatever. Yeah. But in my opinion, and again, I'm not a nutritionist, but I am somebody who pays a lot of attention to what they eat. When I eat anything that's sugar and carb heavy, the inflammation in my body is like my joints hurt. I'm slower. I'm dumber than I normally am. I'm not going to say I'm not as smart because that is wrong. But anyways, all right. So going on from that, there is a graphic in here that we'll put in the post, but it's kind of more along this whole people pushing us to eat less meat and eat more other things. So it says, what does 25 grams of protein look like? So it has quinoa, and that's 3 full cups, and that's 666 calories for 25 grams of protein. I don't find that number a coincidence at all. Quinoa is the devil. Nice. Peanut butter is 6.5 tablespoons, and that's 613 calories for 25 grams. Black beans, 1 2/3 cups, 379 calories for 25 grams. And if you eat 1 2/3 cups of black beans, don't come around me. Edamame, I actually like edamame beans, especially when I used to get them in the pods. Did you ever do that?
Yeah, the first time I got edamame, I didn't know what it was, and I was eating the whole thing. So I don't like edamame just because of that. Yeah, no, but it was
you like suck it out of the pod.
Yeah, I was at a restaurant with my older brother who lives out in Colorado. Him and his wife and stuff, and they ordered edamame, and I'm like, oh, what is that? Oh, that looks cool. Whatever. Dip in sauce, eat the whole thing. I'm chewing on it forever. And I'm like, I don't like this stuff. It's too hard to chew. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I've been chewing on this same piece for like 5 minutes. They're like, no.
That does not break down.
It's not how you eat it.
Does not break down. And then finally is beef. It's 173 calories for 25 grams. And that's in a 3-ounce serving. So if you're looking for protein, by far, nothing matches beef. Even the things that are even more odd and are a little bit denser than that aren't as bioavailable as the protein that's in beef. So your body metabolizes it as you want it to. Like, what's the big one? You could get enough iron by eating, I think it's 3 cups of spinach, technically, but your body can not deal with that iron at all. You'll get like a 50th of that amount of iron. So there is no real replacement for beef. And I am enjoying kind of seeing the whole beyond like the fake meat replacement industry, to see people like kind of turning on it. So
when I look at this, I kind of want to like do my own experiment on like, I want to eat like 3 cups of quinoa and see how full I feel and how long I stay content before I'm like, okay, I need to eat again, and eat like the 3 ounces of beef and see how long I can go before I'm like, I need to eat again.
3 cups of quinoa is a significant amount.
I know.
I don't think you want to do that.
Because sometimes when I'm looking at food, like I don't necessarily look at, it's beef, it's protein, it's good for me. I look at what can I eat a lot of that I want to stay full for a long time on.
I got a question. Are you guys big lunch eaters? And if you are, what do you typically try to go for?
So there's 2 phases I'll go through. I'll either go through scrambled eggs every day at lunch.
Lunch?
Yeah.
That's
or fake crab meat. Those are like my back and forths. Right now, I'm more in a prosciutto wrapped around some cheese and a Greek yogurt.
I've never heard of someone eat more types of food than you, and yet nothing at all in a day. Like he's had the same, like he'll go, oh, I've had this. Even those pod things you're just talking about, I've never even seen those in person. And then every day he's like, oh, I either just eat eggs or fake crab meat. Who are you, dude? Like,
yeah, I have weird eating habits.
You used to eat a lot of yogurt. Do you still eat the same amount of yogurt?
Oh, the Chobanis?
Because I
flips, yeah,
the flips. I eventually figured out how much money I was spending on those, and I was like, I can't support this yogurt habit. They're so good. I'd eat like 4 a day.
Mm-hmm. That's the week. That's what you're supposed to have for the entire week.
Yeah, no, I was eating them a day. They're so good, though.
I usually eat like either like chicken lunch meat or like rotisserie chicken something with like string cheese or Vienna sausages.
Oh, God. He ate Vienna sausages in the car.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. 2 whole cans, baby.
And like back to back. Those were gone in like an hour.
Dude. It was great. Yeah, we were on our way back from Missoula. John's like, can we stop by the grocery store to get like some real food before we leave? And I'm like, yep, sounds great. So, yeah, I loaded up on Vienna sausages.
Now, luckily, it didn't actually smell as bad as I thought it was going to.
They don't smell bad at all.
Yeah, my dad used to eat those every day.
They've got a scent to them. I think the fact that we were moving in the car, the air, I think that helped. But yeah, no, it really wasn't a problem. It did make me laugh, though. It was a very Austin thing to do. All right, so this kind of feeds into the previous one. Patrick had some other things to do today, so we almost cut him loose for this. But I think I need somebody here to make sure I don't go too far over the line here. But there is, I think this is in Scotland or whatever, but I don't care where it is. This is being talked about at all. There's plans to feed school children insects to test meat alternatives.
Why children? Why?
Because they can't.
Well, Patrick, let me tell you why children. Because all a teacher has to do is say, meat is bad for the planet. Don't you want to eat something that's not bad for the planet? And kids are so impressionable. They're going to go, oh, yeah, no, the environment's so important. The planet's so important. I'll eat your bugs or whatever. And then you've normalized kids to it. And then when they grow up, there's going to be no resistance at all to them eating bugs.
Yeah.
Now, this all ties in to where I'm going to try to stay careful, but I may flip the table, rip off my shirt, and start screaming.
I want to know, why do you have a problem with this? Because you were just talking about 15 minutes ago feeding me insects and alpaca brain.
Here's the difference.
Using me as a science experiment.
Right. Here's the difference. A, we're doing it for fun. And
fun?
B, doing it voluntarily. Now,
I just wanted to state for the record that if I eat alpaca brain, it is not going to be voluntary.
I'm not going to be able to hold you down and feed you with it. You have the opportunity to walk away or sub out.
I'm going to make you sign a form that says that if anything goes wrong, you will reimburse me for all medical bills.
I don't think we're doing that one then. But you could what do they call it, Patrick, in your worldwide wrestling stuff? Tag out?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could tag out. Yeah. You could say, Patrick, you're up for this one.
Get the hot tag in there.
Either get Patrick in or get your new guy on.
That might be a little intense for somebody who's only been here a few months.
Sub in Pat or Rachel.
No.
It's just anybody else sounds good.
It's going to be. Here's the deal. The Meatgistics guys will not get a kick from somebody else trying it as big a kick as you having to try it. Same thing with me.
We talked about brains though too, so I might have to try that one if he doesn't want to. With the Indiana Jones reference all the time.
See? So. Bravery. All right. But what we're talking about here is something called the World Economic Forum. I have recently become aware that not everybody knows what this and the Great Reset is, and it makes me wonder what you guys all pay attention to all day. No, I'm not weird on this one. Everybody should know what the World Economic Forum is.
You're saying forum?
Forum. It is, they meet in this place called Davos And it is like the elite of the elites trying to get together and say what the new plan is going to be for everybody. And this has a ridiculous amount of like real world implications. And for whatever reason, 3/4 of the country has no idea like what's going on here. I think we talked about Klaus Schwab once, and you were unaware who he is. I know your brother and one of his salesmen had an interaction with the Great Reset, and they had no idea what that was.
Yeah, it's not a normal thing for people to know about.
Okay. So these are incredibly powerful people. One of their messaging was by 2030, you'll own nothing, have no privacy, and you'll never have been happier.
Oh, sweet.
That is their plan.
Sign me up, baby.
That you're not going to own anything. You're going to have zero privacy, but you're going to be happy.
It's 1984.
Now do you get why I want to go live in a cabin in the woods?
Why would you want to live in it if you don't own it?
Oh, no, I'm going to own my stuff.
I think we're just scaring all those guys to live in the cabin in the woods, and they're going to be like, okay, I think they're all gone, and we just act normal again.
I would accept that. It can't be good woods, though. No woods that I want to go to. Filled with grizzly bears, maybe. But so just from they're having the World Economic Forum right now. Just 2 articles from the past day were from a Good Grub. Why we might be eating insects soon, from the World Economic Forum. Eat the bugs. World Economic Forum claims bugs are our future, and another Great Reset PSA. So insect farming is set to play a growing role in our lives, especially in our diets, the World Economic Forum states. They're rich in protein, healthy fats, and vitamins, and can be farmed at scale with minimal footprint. As we've reported, the establishment is preparing industrialized nations to accept eating bugs instead of red meat as part of its utopian Great Reset agenda. But it's not just the bugs. The World Economic Forum, founded by globalist Klaus Schwab, said humans must also eventually drink sewage water and eat weeds as part of our normal diet. I mean, this guy literally looks like a Bond villain. Like, you have to see how he dresses. He looks, was it Dr. No? No. Who was the bad guy who kept appearing in the Sean Connery? I can't believe I can't think of this. That guy. Whoever that guy is, this is who he looks like. And this ridiculous message of live in the pod, eat the bugs is so anti everything this country was built on. I don't know why we're letting these people even have an ounce of say in anything we do.
I'm going to make you mad here.
Go ahead.
I don't necessarily have an issue with like if people like, want to get big in insect farming and that becomes like another meat source. Great.
100%.
Power to it. If it's as good as beef and pork, I'll be eating it right there with somebody. The problem is it'll probably end up being like other meat substitutes where there'll be a niche there'll be a niche market for it, niche,
whatever
however you pronounce it, but it won't be the same. I mean, you won't have the same flavor as bacon, and that's why like people try to make bacon this, bacon that, or they try to make meat substitutes taste like an actual burger, an actual sausage. So I don't know. As long as it's not a deal where it's like you have to do this and you can't do anything else. I mean, I don't think it can hurt us, hurt the industry we're in. It honestly probably only makes beef, pork, chicken production and everything associated with it stronger. That'd be my thought. Maybe
make it stronger. Maybe not. The problem is what you're talking about there is a free market solution, which obviously we would have no problem with. They're not talking about just letting this happen. They are going to try to enforce this. And I guarantee you, they're not going to be eating what the regular hoi polloi eats. They're going to have their beef, their veal, their whatever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So no, absolutely not. In no way, shape, or form should we allow this to continue.
I think it's so far out there, though.
2030? It's 8 years away. 8 years ago, I started here. That's how short that is.
Where'd you see? I don't know. I don't see 2030. That's just their state.
Here. Go to the World Economic Forum.
Oh, okay.
You'll see their stated
goals. I don't think any of that can happen in that amount of time.
I got 8 years to win a Super Bowl is what you're telling me.
Probably only 6. Once this starts, no one's going to have enough protein to... Those guys have to eat a lot of steaks to stay that big. Good. And a lot of steroids.
I don't know. I look at it and I say, yeah, it all sounds crazy to me, but I'm not concerned. I don't think there's any chance it would really come about, especially in that short time. What is that?
That was in my water.
Is someone trying to kill you? Because that is something like that you accidentally swallow. It gets stuck. It gets
lodged in your throat.
And you die.
It's a piece of plastic with like a sharp edge.
Oh, it looks like
I know what it is.
Thing with a hook on it.
I know what it is. A piece of our ice tray in there must have broken off as I was scooping up ice. So tried to kill myself.
Good to know. So slip the razor blades in the ice tray.
Oh my God, what an amazing.
Jeez.
Even better. I've got a better one.
No,
I've got a better one. Ground up glass.
Hold on.
Because that would actually go down.
But I chew ice. Oh, could you imagine any of those?
I take back everything I just said, and we need to switch to another article right now and talk about that one because it fits in perfectly. From KSN Wichita, here in Wichita, Texas man wanting to go human hunting arrested for terroristic threat.
Yes.
So it just reminds me, I need to be careful about what I say and putting razor blades in the ice because
I'm going to plant razor blades in my own ice.
We'll do a disclaimer.
Austin did this to me. I have the... Yeah. So this is an article. I wasn't even sure if we wanted to talk about it's on our radar because
we made the perfect segue here.
Yeah, you made the perfect segue. So this is a guy who was actually just selling a scope to a guy, and I think probably just mostly as like small talk. Was like, hey, what do you plan on using it for? The guy said to hunt or human hunting.
Yeah.
So that guy...
Well, and he looked weird too. You can't...
I don't know how he looked. They don't have a picture of him, I don't think. But I assume if you're saying you're going human hunting, you look weird. So that guy called the authorities, and I think rightly.
Yeah, you can't not do anything on that one. And
especially on the heels of what just happened in Uvalde.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't matter.
I'd preface like the call. I'd be like, hey, I'm not 100%. Right. So don't, let's not act like it's an active situation. But at the same time, you got to make a call.
Yeah. So. Don't go kick down this guy's door with the ATF, which should be abolished. But maybe check this one out.
Yeah. It's one of those things that, you hope the guy's joking, but
camera skip.
Whether he is or isn't, you got to do something about that. And if you're making those comments, you can't. So I take back what I said about the razor blades because
okay. Hold on.
But just be careful of what you say, especially when it's somebody that or something that is somehow related to our industry and hunting and meat and anything like that. We already get enough bad rap. And we've talked about that in the past that if you're
also making that comment to somebody you know incredibly well. It's not like you're making it to some random stranger. Yeah. If you made that to like an ice salesman or something, they might call the FBI like, hey, I think we got a psychopath here.
Sure.
And that might be valid. Plus, because I came up with the ground glass thing, probably gave Patrick a great idea for a short horror movie. So
at least a scene for sure. So
maybe we get a producer's credit, which is what I've always wanted. So there's another article. It's called Expensive Chicken. Here are some hen ensemble, like an ensemble. That's the worst pun I've ever seen of food that tastes just like them. So first of all, I want to go through and rate them because I've had a bunch of these. Tofu. There's nothing you can do to tofu to make it taste a lot like chicken. That it just doesn't happen. Tofu tastes like tofu. Mushrooms have like a more of a beefy umami flavor. And I don't know, recently I've started kind of trying mushrooms. I've famously hated them for the last 42 years. But I've recently been playing with like eating them in different things. And I'm finding I don't hate them as much as I thought I did. I know some people who listen to this from Meatgistics will then want me to try mashed potatoes again, but that is never going to happen. Mashed potatoes are terrible. Cauliflower. Now, this one I'll give a little bit of credence to. What is that? Not Panda Express. What's the big Chinese food place?
China Go?
Nope, it's not. It's not fast food.
Shitty Walk.
Nope, not City Walk.
City Walk.
Wait, what?
It's
not fast food?
It's not fast food. It's Asian. It's actually really good. We used to have one here if we don't still have it. It is...
No idea.
You can also buy them in the grocery store sometimes. It is...
I thought that was Panda Express.
No.
Oh, P.F. Chang's?
P.F. Chang's, thank you.
Yeah, we still have one, pretty sure.
Okay. So P.F. Chang's made a cauliflower, deep fried chicken with cauliflower that we got one time with my wife, and it was amazing.
I don't know.
Maybe better than little deep fried nuggets. It was so good.
I don't know where my wife gets it, but she has been doing something that's like that, and it's good. Like it's not exactly the same, but it's a nice substitute.
Yeah.
Wings and Rings does a cauliflower wing.
Do they?
Yeah,
Is
and
it good?
they're pretty good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, that sauce has so much sugar in it that it's way worse for you than just getting the chicken, but whatever.
True.
Jackfruit, can confirm that jackfruit is not a good substitute for chicken. It did okay as a pulled pork sandwich.
I thought it was good with pulled pork.
It did okay, but I still think it was more like texture and the sauce we put on it.
Yeah, you put so much sauce on it that, yeah.
And
but
again,
it was good.
I wouldn't say anything like chicken. I'd say closer to
Oh, yeah, not chicken.
pork.
Oh,
right.
No.
And then the last one, which is just, I don't know what to say about this. It's plain flour and water. So they're frying bread and then calling it fried chicken.
That sounds amazing.
I mean, it's probably not bad.
I just want to take our flavor crisp breading and just fry
Make a
it
ball
on
of it
itself.
and then deep fry that.
Yeah, that would be so good.
I've got to figure out how they did this once. I saw somebody at Texas State Fair deep fry a stick of butter. I've got to figure out how they did that.
Freeze it, batter it.
No, that's right. I'm wrong in that deep frying anything frozen explodes, right?
Yeah, it's fine. We talked about this.
Okay.
This goes back to John is just sometimes crazy.
I just make poor connections in my head sometimes. But yeah, so I don't know. None of those, out of all of those, it would be either the cauliflower or the jackfruit. Don't eat tofu. It's just not good. If you want a cool meat substitute, don't use tofu. Use something called tempeh. Tempeh is kind of similar, but it's got a much better texture to it. And there's a whole thing with phytoestrogens. Tempeh is way better for you.
My biggest issue with a lot of this stuff is texture, because I love mushrooms, but there's times when I don't want mushrooms if they have a certain texture.
Okay.
Like you cook them, I don't know if it's cooked less or more, or in how it changes when, I don't know. Yep. All I know is that sometimes I eat mushrooms and I'm like, I don't like that texture, can't do it. But there's other times like I'm just like, I love mushrooms. I will sit there and eat a whole bowl of mushrooms.
So take this or leave it. But the reason I started changing my mind on mushrooms is I started getting this, it's like a powder and it's got lion's mane and a couple other mushrooms in it. And I would like take spoonfuls of it and just eat that like before I worked out. And as I'm eating it, I'm like, that really does taste like almost like a cubed beef bouillon.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's pretty tasty. So I've been dehydrating mushrooms, grounding them up into powder, and then like using it in things. So
interesting.
So that's one way to do it where you totally avoid the texture at all. It doesn't even come into it. All right. Then we've got how to save overcooked beef. It's not a long article, and the takeaway from it is that you can't. Once you've overcooked beef, that's it. If you were trying to make steak, you can make shredded beef. That's about it at that point. There's no way to overcook beef, so it's done.
I don't know. I disagree, because like I'm just thinking like if I have examples, but excuse me. So you overcook beef. The surefire way to still eat it is cut it into small pieces, put it on a salad, and use about twice as much ranch dressing as you actually need for it. Be fantastic. Because even if it's like burnt and crispy, then you have like beef croutons.
Right, but that's now a new thing. That's no longer like what you were trying to make.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I thought you were saying like if it's overcooked, like you're just
you don't
like,
throw it out.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah.
You never have me nervous. I'm
never
like,
throw out food.
Yeah, you can't throw it out.
No.
It's still edible in some way. You just Yeah, if you overcook a steak, if you cooked a steak to 180, I'm not gonna sit there and eat it like a steak. I'm going to have to put it in something else,
something different.
I will definitely still eat it.
Yeah. The one thing it said was, if you're going to, or if you've overcooked it, shred it, cook it to the point where it's all going to fall apart, shred it, and then eat it like almost like a pulled pork sandwich or something. So.
Beef jerky. What if you overcooked a steak and then turned the whole thing into like a giant piece of jerky?
No, I thought about that. You would never get a chance to pick up anywhere near enough flavor because you've already cooked it. So you're never going to get it to penetrate and hold. It's already expelled all its water. So I don't know why they put that one on there.
True.
So many of these articles are written, and I'm not saying know the most, but so many of these articles are written by people who don't really have any understanding of like the science behind cooking meats. It's just like, oh, well, then you could just make jerky out of it. No, you really absolutely can't. It's never going to work. But I get why you said it. So whatever.
Yeah.
No reason to be mean to them.
I hate clicking on an article and you read the same like opening paragraph 3 different ways, like 3 different times. And I'm like, where's the one sentence that gives everything away?
Why do they not front load? Like, do they... Oh, I guess I just figured it out because they want people to spend more time on the page because that's how they get advertising.
That
dollars.
Should be illegal though. Like at what point, like, is that not, hey, that's not real.
That's not illegal.
It should be. It's like, I mean, you couldn't do that on like the radio, so to speak.
Sure you could. No?
I don't think so. The FCC would get involved. So I'm just saying there's no like regulation like that.
You're saying if a radio show has a big guest that everyone's tuning in for, right at a break, they're just going to go to them. They're not going to. I think play that.
I think we're removed from maybe the point I was trying to make, but
okay. Well, less government involvement, Patrick, not more. All right, I don't have anything else. Do you?
I don't think I do. The only thing I have left is go out and buy some Flavor Crisp because that stuff was amazing.
It is on sale. So this will be out after we do our live stream, but giveaway this month is the Camp Chef Woodwind. I talked to Camp Chef. They're willing to do some stuff with us. And then we have the 1 pound bag is on sale. The 13-inch square Dutch oven from Camp Chef is on sale. So pretty much everything we use to make that other than the Better Breader Batter Bowl is on sale.
That's cheap enough as it is.
Kind of. Well, I mean, this is cheap enough as is.
That's true too.
But whatever. Let people, if somebody doesn't want to try a whole 5 pound bag, this is the intro, like the small amount that you buy and then you get hooked and then you buy the 5 pound bags.
Oh, so I actually want to talk about this more. Did you prepare it like a breading or as a batter? You did a breading. Because it's in, with the little shaker thing. Patrick, have you used it as a batter? I want to say you said you did.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's that exact product, but yeah, they offer the amount of water you're supposed to use to the amount of product. And it's like looks like a pancake batter. You wouldn't know any the wiser, and you just dip it right in. You can see if you need to add a little bit more water. You don't have to be super precise. I just kind of whisk it together and go, oh yeah, it's perfect. So
did you have a preference as like breading or batter?
I liked it as a breading better. It was less it caked up more when it was a batter, but it was because my pieces were touching because I kind of just threw all my chicken in at once. But if you had space between them, I think it would be really, really good. Maybe use the batter for fish and stuff like that. I think a delicate kind of meat could use the buffer between, its cooking surface.
See, Patrick could probably write better articles than a lot of these guys. He has a better understanding.
I'd hope so.
Just through osmosis.
I used to take a lot of creative writing classes. So.
Well, good. All right.
Cool.
We forgot to do the list.
Like,
this
comment,
is the outro.
Subscribe.
This is it right now.
But we're supposed to do that in the intro now.
Well, you know, it's funny.
I've done it twice in a row.
I was going to interrupt you, but I feel like you had such a good flow going. So.
Darn. One thing, if anyone's listening this long, I will create a coupon right now that will give you 10% off and free shipping at waltons.com for listening this far in. We'll not post this coupon anywhere, and we'll find out how many people are actually getting all the way through an episode to the very, very end. But
we should do more than 10% then. Make it actually make it 15 so people are
okay. So
more excited.
Let me make that.
Well, you can just tell them what it is and make it later. You don't have to make it while we're waiting to wrap up the episode.
If they're getting 15% off, they're waiting. No, we'll make it 6/1/15. So it's the date and 15% off.
Well, today's date, but not the date that it comes out.
Shoot, 6/3? Yeah, 6/3/15.
6/3/15.
And that'll get you 15% off and free shipping, which we can now do.
Sweet.
Awesome. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. We will see you next time. Leave a review. Really does help.
Thanks for checking out the Meatgistics Podcast. To shop everything but the meat, head on over to waltonsinc.com. And to get your meat processing questions answered by experts and enthusiasts alike, head on over to our online community at meatgistics.com. Walton's, everything but the meat.